isolation, friends. It is day 4. Today I'm going to chuck the battery on charge for the 32. I'm going to take it for a run around the block because it hasn't been around the block for a bit. We'll go for a ride in that, and probably that too just a little bit later, because it is loud as hell. I don't know if you can really tell from the videos, but like it is stupidly loud. Like it's 100 and I think it's 105 decibels at 30 meters. So yeah, it's quite a loud car. So we'll be taking that out once everyone wakes up a little bit. So this is Old Faithful. This was my first battery charger when I got into cars. I bought it probably 10 or 15 years ago, and it has not done me wrong ever since. And it's just like a basic 6 volt, 12 volt battery charger. It's 6 amps, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I think it cost me like 65 bucks back in the day, and I've had it forever. Nice and attached. Alright, another thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to give that engine a turnover by hand, just because it is a motor that's been sitting around for a bit. Just got to make sure that it stays lubricated and not seized, and if it does seize I'm going to have to pull it back out and pull it down and try and fix it. Well, as you can see, the engine's not too bad. It's still turning over, which means we don't have a seized motor. And really, you should take your spark plugs out and whatnot, but I'm lazy, I didn't want to do that, so we didn't do it. Actually, to be honest, hindsight's 2020, so I'm going to pull those spark plugs out now anyway and just give them a check. They're probably pretty old, they probably need to be replaced, so I'll give them a check over. And yeah, so I picked up this T-handle little socket thing in Japan, and basically it has been my go-to for spark plugs ever since, because literally all my cars use the same basic hex head on it. So they take, there's 2 different types, but all of mine take that, so it's been my go-to. Now there is a lot of oil in that. That's not good. Fucking stuck in there. This is going to be a fun job. Now people are probably like, alright, now we'll use a socket and a pry bar, or yeah, breaker bar. But hear me out. See, it works. And that is a lot of oil. That would have never run like that. Yikes. So as we can see, basically all the plugs have been soaked in oil, like that rag's been cleaning them off, but like just all of them have just been absolutely soaked. They've just been sitting in it for a while, so I'd say those plugs are well fucked. I'm gonna have to probably pull the cam covers off and check what quality the underneath is, see if it's all gummed up and everything like that. Worst case scenario, I'm pulling it out and fixing it up. Best case scenario, I can clean it up a fair bit from the just from the top there and have it running. And maybe a week. Well, yeah, 3 different size tyres. Currently I've got 3 different size tyres as well, but they're different ones now. So that's a 205 45. Over the other side is a 215 45, and then those ones, well, they might be 215s as well. So there you go, I've got 2 different sizes on there. However, those ones I chucked on at Whitey's shop the day before the event, basically. He doesn't have a working tyre pressure gauge, and I really didn't care to find one and check the tyre pressures. So after about half the day after I went through the first pair of tyres, I chucked those tyres on that on the car, those wheels on the car. Didn't check the tyre pressures or anything like that. I was like, wow, this is really grippy on 215s. I just did the tyre pressures then, and we're sitting on 16 psi. So really quite flat. Well, not flat, but like if you're like bulk power trying to drift with some grip, low tire pressures, and they're rapids on the back too, which makes them a little weird with the low pressure. They like a bit of pressure sometimes, and then sometimes they really don't. So yeah, I should really get that one switched over to a 215 45. And eventually I'm probably going to go back to 205 45s on the back of that. Either that, or I'm going to put some tyre pressure in them and just see how I go with it. So that was a quick 0 to 100 test where I didn't start at 0, I started at 10 and then definitely didn't get to 100 kilometers an hour in my street. So interestingly enough, another issue with this car is like the owner's fault. He's got the wrong spark plugs in it. He's been using my Skyline ones for, I don't know, far too long now, so he fouls them really quickly. So I just tried to start her up again and the plugs are fouled, so I'm going to basically leave them sit for a while. I'll probably harass him to buy some new ones, or at least pay for some new ones so I can go down and go get them. And then chuck them in and hopefully I won't have this issue anymore. And the cold start is a bitch because there is no cold start on the ECU. So in order to continue cleaning up this, what I'm going to do, wire wheel, I mean because it's cast, so it should clean up the rest of the way pretty nicely with this. And then with some sanding with this like actual sandpaper, we should be able to get this pretty shiny, pretty smooth. So see how we go. Right, well that'll do for now. I don't know if you can really tell, but it definitely looks a lot more clean. With the top bit here, I know that it's not particularly shiny. I do want to hit it again, probably a couple of other times, right until I get like these casting little roughness out, and then probably hit it with a nice fine sandpaper, say like a 2 or a 300 grit, and then hit it with a 4 or 600 grit right up until that becomes nice and shiny. So what I'm going to do, as you can probably tell after all this, is I'm going to go pretty shiny intake or entire engine bay in the ratty car. So yeah, should be good. Alrighty, well I think that's me done for the day. I'm going to pack up down here. Probably change the plugs in that thing. I don't know with that yet. Probably go for another drive. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.